Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNI toy review. Now, for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at that brand new G.I. Joe classified Target exclusive Special Missions Cobra Island wave. So, this wave includes 3 single pack figures. We've got the Cobra Trooper, Beachhead, and a second version of Roadblock. And then we're also in this Target exclusive wave getting the Baroness with the Coil bike. This is just now hitting Target stores. The other figures have been out for a couple weeks, but the Baroness has just started hitting stores as of yesterday. So the Baroness, and that's really what I'm going to be focusing on primarily in this review, though I am going to share my thoughts on the other figures as well. But the Baroness, she comes packaged in this window style, very similar to the single pack figures. You've got the G.I. Joe classified logo down below. You've got some nice artwork down there in the corner, and you've also got that Special Missions Cobra Island logo. Then on the side, I really actually like this artwork on the side of Baroness. She's looking pretty good there. And then on the back, you just have the image of Cobra Island, like we see with all the figures in this Target exclusive wave. And on the side, it tells us that Baroness is figure number 13 in the series. All right, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, before we dive into the review, I just want to say that, I kind of debated with myself whether I should actually review this or not. I mean, I really, I think this is a great looking figure, and I've really been impressed overall with the G.I. Joe Classified line. I think it's probably one of the best action figure lines going right now, maybe even rivaling Marvel Legends. However, I also understand the frustration that many of you guys, and I've experienced much of that same frustration in trying to get your hands on these figures, especially these Target store exclusives. I personally, with this one, with the Baroness, I decided to say screw Target. I was tired of dealing with them. I did get the single pack figures from Target with a lot of hassle, but I said screw it on this, and I went to a Hong Kong seller who had it in hand, and I bought it that way. I had to pay a little bit more, but I really didn't want to have to deal with the BS. And as I understand it, these are hitting Target stores right now. They started hitting yesterday, and each store right now appears to only be getting one case, and each case only has 3 of these sets. So essentially, each store is only getting 3, and they are selling very fast. Seems like some maybe even are going out the back door, just based on data that's coming through on Pop Finder. And Pop Finder, if you do want to see if your store has gotten it in, seems to be the best tool to use. BrickSeek really does not seem to be reading this accurately, nor does the Target website itself. So if you want a remote chance of knowing whether your store has them in stock or not, I would recommend that you use the website Pop Finder or the app Pop Finder. Plug in the DCPI number, and I'll have that in the video description below. These are hitting shelves now, though. Maybe there might be a few Targets that still haven't gotten them in yet, but it seems like most Targets across the country have already started getting them in, again starting yesterday, and again they are selling out very fast. So because of that, I really debated whether I should review it, since I understand many of you are going to have a real difficult time trying to get this figure and the rest of the Target store exclusives. But I decided to go on and do so. I just wanted to share my thoughts on it because, again, like I said, despite other than just being so difficult to get these, I really think this is a great line that Hasbro's been giving us for Joe fans. And obviously Joe fans have been kind of starved for some time, since it's really been several years before we've gotten any real product for GI Joe. Okay, so let's start off taking a look at the bike itself. And this is the first vehicle that we've gotten for this GI Joe 6-inch action figure line, and probably is my least favorite thing about the set. However, I will say that the bike actually ended up looking better than I thought it was going to be. So it does have kind of that futuristic kind of feel to it, and that's kind of the whole thing about GI Joe Classified, is it's supposed to take place in the near future. So that's why weapons look more futuristic and things like that. And of course, same thing with this bike. But again, I actually think it looks better than I thought in the original promo images. I do like the black and red coloring on it. Black and red's always my favorite color. You've got the Cobra insignia up here on both sides on the gas tank there. You got some detailing, sculpting detailing on the seat. You've got this metallic silver here for the engine parts, and then black plastic, and then red, and you've got some detailing. You've got the translucent windshield windshield and the covering on the light there. The wheels are actually feel like are made with a rubber type material, so they're not actually just hard plastic, which is nice, and they do roll pretty well. You've got the kickstand, so that works pretty well, and it does with the kickstand it does stay nice and balanced, so you don't really have to worry about it falling over. And when you first take it out of the packaging, you do this. This little handlebar actually is detached from the bike, so they could fit it in the packaging. So you do have to pop that on. It just fits in with a ball joint, and you get some movement with the steering wheel. If you do it back and forth, it actually moves the front wheel, and then you also just get some movement with the hand grips, so you can better pose it with the figures. The brakes don't actually move or anything. You've got some translucent plastic up here on the gauges, though you don't really have any detail there. And like I said, has that futuristic flair. I would have probably preferred just a normal looking motorcycle, but it did actually come out looking better than I thought it would. Now for weapons on the bike, you get these two rifles, and these can double. Baroness can hold these as just normal rifles, and both rifles, they're exactly the same, have the same sculpting detail. They're done with a glossy black finish, and they have these little pegs that stick out. So you've got these holes on the front of the bike here, so you can just plug them in, so you can make them part of the bike themselves, so the bike has some weaponry to it. That's really it for weapons on the bike. And then, like I said, they can be taken off, and then Baroness can hold them as just normal rifles if you want to. And you can see here the Baroness actually fits pretty good on the bike. She's gripping the handle grips nice and tight, and she actually fits on it pretty well. You can get her butt all the way down on the seat. Now you have these little back pieces that she can put her feet up against, and then you actually have these that stick out with foot pegs in it. You can put the feet there if you want to, but she doesn't fit on the bike nearly as well. So I'd recommend that you actually just put the feet back here on these little back slabs, and then like I said, she fits on there pretty good, and even can look up. You can get the figure, so even with this long hair, she can actually kind of look straight ahead while she's on the bike. And you can see even with the kickstand up, the bike actually has nice balance to it. It will fall over if you touch it too much, but it's not going to just easily fall over. So even without the kickstand, you can actually keep it balanced pretty good, which is nice. Now you can also use the bike with like your Cobra Trooper figure, and if you want to give your Cobra Trooper figure an actual motorcycle helmet, since the helmeted head that comes with Baroness really doesn't have any female attributes to it, you can actually put it on your Cobra Trooper as well, and it does fit nice and tight. Now, for the Baroness herself, she comes with a number of accessories as well. So first of all, you get two head sculpts. You get this head sculpt that it's just a regular head sculpt that she's wearing the glasses. Overall, I think they've done a pretty good job. She does have the pale skin, but that's really in keeping with the character. Baroness should not be tan, so I'm glad they gave her the pale skin. She's got the red lipstick and the solid black hair, very long hair, and it's done with a soft rubber material, so it does have a lot of flexibility. The glasses, I want to say, are not meant to be taken off. It feels like they're glued on there. You could probably get them off if you really wanted to, but I'm not going to try. You've got the clear translucent plastic for the lenses, which actually look pretty good. You've got some gold trim on the glasses as well, which I've seen some people say they like and others don't. Baroness has had a number of different pairs of glasses that she's worn over the years. Everything from just straight up black glasses to glasses with green lenses and so on and so forth. So I think this is kind of a nice twist on it, and whoever's been designing the G.I. Joe line obviously does like gold, because we see a lot of gold on these figures, so it really doesn't bother me. She's got the shoulder pads, which are meant to look like snake heads, or at least this one on the left arm is. This one actually on the right is just a normal shoulder pad. Now in the original artwork that we saw for the character, there was actually some gold on that snake head, but on this it's just solid black, and I don't think that looks bad. It probably might look a little bit off with the gold, so I'm kind of glad they left that off. She's got the Cobra emblem on her chest, which is sculpted on there, and she's got the chest plate that she's wearing, which is a solid piece to the figure, but it is nicely sculpted, so it does look like it's kind of separate from the rest of her shirt. And she's got some lighter black and darker black here at the midsection. She's got the belt with the Cobra symbol on there, which is nicely sculpted. I like how they've sculpted the Cobra symbols on these figures, not just painted them on there. So so I like that. She's got the holster, and I'll show you the other weapons that she comes with in just a moment. She's got the boots, which are in keeping with, classic Baroness, with the line work up, all the way up to her thigh. So that's very much in keeping with her original black costume look. And I really just love the details. She's got the Cobra symbols on her gloves here on both sides, and again, that's nicely sculpted on there. So again, just overall nice job. I think the face sculpt looks pretty good. Now she does have her lips are open a little bit, so you can see her teeth. So from certain angles, it doesn't look quite as good. I almost would have rather they had made the mouth completely closed. But overall, I think they've done a pretty solid job with this figure. Besides the regular head sculpt, they've also given you a helmeted head sculpt with the bike to go along with the bike. So this is actually a separate head sculpt. You could use it if you want her to just kind of like carry it like a helmet. She can, but it is actually a head sculpt that fits on that ball joint. And again, this is so when she's riding around the motorcycle, safety first with the helmet. So I like that. And it's just a solid black color. It's kind of a glossy black there, and you've got some sculpting detail in the back. There's no Cobra symbol or anything on the helmet. It is just a pretty basic black bike helmet. And going back to the figure itself, I just wanted to point out you also have some nice sculpting detail with the texturing on these lighter pieces here in the midsection and on her arm, which match nicely. But I really like how they've gone that extra distance with the sculpting texture on those lighter pieces of the figure. And then for other accessories, so she gets these gold guns. As I said, whoever is designing this line really likes the gold color. So you've got 2 gold pistols, and they're kind of futuristic looking. And then she has the working gun holsters in the back there. So she's got 2 of these. The guns are exactly the same, and they do fit nice and snug in those holsters. You also get this knife with a gold Cobra head on it. So we've seen with the Wave 2 Cobra Commander, which I do not have yet. He has the larger kind of dagger with the Cobra head, but she's got a small one. And again, she does have a sheath that she can put that in. It does fit nice and tight, so I like that. And then finally you get this. I guess this is supposed to be a mechanical Cobra or something. It's done with a metallic silver. It looks robotic to me. You've got the metallic gold up here on the Cobra head with the red eyes, and the mouth is open, everything. So it looks pretty menacing. And then she can kind of hold it. You can wrap it around her arm and stuff. So I guess you can pretend it shoots lasers out of its eyes or something, or just maybe like a pet Cobra. I don't know. But it's kind of a cool accessory, kind of unique, something we haven't seen before. So I do like that. Okay, so let's go over the articulation on Baroness here. She can turn her head to the left and to the right, and this hair is really a soft rubber, so it doesn't limit the head movement. Now with the neck, you have a ball hinge joint, so she's got pretty good up and down movement. As I mentioned, she can actually, when she's on the motorcycle, even with this head sculpt, she can look kind of straight ahead, which is nice. And you also get movement on the bottom portion of the neck, so you get top and bottom neck movement, and then you get that hinge joint. So overall, good movement there. Now with the arms, she can get the arms out good even with these shoulder pads, and it does appear that she has some type of butterfly joint there, so you get that back and forth movement. And then the shoulder pads here are actually separate pieces. They're like rubber pieces that are connected around the inner arm there, so you can actually turn when you rotate the arm around. Those shoulder pads will actually move with the arm, so they don't really limit any of the movement there, which is nice. So I do like that. Now because of it being a female 6-inch figure from Hasbro, especially if you're a Marvel Legend collector, you know this. You get the single hinged elbows, no bicep swivel, but you do get the single hinged elbows with the rotation at the elbow. You get the rotation with the hands. You get the hinges, so up and down movement. Now with her midsection, she has rotation back and forth there. She can pivot both at the midsection and then at the waist a little bit. The armor kind of limits the rotation, but she has some movement, and then she can pivot to the left and the right. Most of her movement comes down at the waist section. She does have a waist rotation and swivel joint there, so that's where you get most of your midsection articulation on this one. But again, you do have some rotation and pivot up here at the midsection as well. She really can't crunch forward very much, and then she can look back, but again, more at the waist than anything else. Now with the legs seem to come down a little bit out of the sockets, so she can really get her leg up high, which is nice, and she can get her leg down. Now I've kind of bent the bending the rubber on the knife, so you do want to watch that. But she actually has pretty good leg movement. She has a thigh swivel, upper thigh swivel there on both legs. She has the double hinged knee, so good bending there. She has basically up and down hinges with the feet, and she does have ankle pivot, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Now, Baroness here stands at about 6¼ inches tall. Okay, now here's a comparison with Destro, and you can see Destro is taller. Now, one thing I want to note, originally when I didn't realize the legs actually kind of came down out of the sockets a little bit, when I was doing a comparison with Destro, I had the legs, I guess they were pulled out from the sockets, and that does make her taller, and she was actually standing a little bit taller than Destro. So just make sure, if she seems a little bit too tall to you, make sure those legs are pushed in. Now, here's a comparison with Scarlet, the only other female character that we've gotten so far in the 6-inch line. Baroness is taller than Scarlet. I don't remember in the cartoon and such if Baroness was taller, but Baroness does tend to wear actual heels with her boots and everything, so I could see that making her a bit taller than Scarlet, even if technically they're the same height. Here's a comparison with the Cobra Trooper, and the Cobra Trooper is a little bit taller than Baroness, as I would imagine he would be. And then finally, here's a comparison with her 3¾ inch counterpart, the 25th anniversary version, the more recent 25th anniversary version that they did. And, these two definitely have some similarities with their overall looks. Okay, now real quick before I sum up my entire review, I did want to share some thoughts on the other figures in this Target Cobra Island wave. I'm not going to do a full-on review for each figure. There have been plenty of reviews already up on YouTube for these guys, but I just wanted to share some basic thoughts. So as I mentioned with this Cobra Trooper, I think this might be the best figure in the wave to date. It's an army builder. You get some nice weapons and accessories. You get the 2 rifles, which you can attach to the back. Both are kind of futuristic. Again, weapons overall is probably the weakest thing about the line, but you get this one, which to me kind of looks like a laser sniper rifle, and then you get this one, which is more of a regular looking machine gun with a future tint to it. You've got the multiple holes so that they fit on the back there. You get this pistol on the back with a holster, and again, these pistols all pretty much look the same in the line with that futuristic tint to it, but this one's solid black. You get another pistol up here with another holster that's removable. You get the knife with the removable knife and sheath, just done with a black blade, so no paint detail. Like I said, weapons are probably the weakest thing about the line. It would have been cool if we'd gotten more traditional G.I. Joe weapons, but I'm not going to complain too much. They look pretty good. You get this thing that's just a separate piece. You slide up on the arm. It's made with a rubber material. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a rank insignia, like if you want this guy to be the commander, and then for the others you can take it off and then just be regular soldiers. My guess is that's probably the thinking behind it. Again, these guys are army builders. You've got this, chest piece, which is a separate piece, but not really meant to be removable. I don't think it's meant to be removable. I haven't found a way to take it off, which, like with the Roadblock figure, it would have been, you could get it off if you really wanted to, but it just doesn't seem to be like it's meant to be removed. So, but overall, nice detailing with that. Again, you've got the holsters and everything. He's got the goggles, the night goggles with, I guess, the infrared lenses, which are painted red. You can take those off. You can even take the helmet off itself. He does have the mask underneath there, which has nice detailing. He's got like the breathing apparatus, so I guess he's protected against COVID. And, nice detailing with the line work there in the black portions. And then you've got the boots and everything. So just really kind of a nice update to the Cobra Trooper. Not exactly like the original one look, but close enough. And with all the weapons and everything, I think they've done a really good job with this figure. Articulation is on par with the other figures in the wave, so I'm not really going to go over that. But again, I think this is probably one of the nicest figures in the wave to date. Now, one thing I did want to point out, one error with mine at least, and I don't think this is necessarily the same with all the Cobra Troopers across the board, but you can see there with his Cobra symbol on his chest, it's sculpted, but then with the red paint, it's off center, so they screwed up there with this one. Like I said, I'm not sure this is that's the same with all the Cobra Troopers. In fact, I don't think it is, but with this particular one, they did kind of mess up the paint. Next up, we have Beachhead, and I was pretty surprised to see Beachhead released so early in the line. He's not what I consider considered to be a major character in GI Joe, but you know, nevertheless, he made the cut early on. And overall, I think they've done a good job. Now, I don't know why they included the red beret. I don't recall Beachhead ever wearing a red beret, but maybe I just forgotten. I don't know. But that is removable, and I do think the figure looks better without it. He does have, you know, like with the classic look of the character, he does have the texturing on the ski mask there, which is good. He's got just a green gun, so no paint detail on the gun. Again, kind of a futuristic look, but one of the better actually looking weapons in the line, I think. Like with the Cobra Trooper, he has the vest, which isn't really, it's a separate piece, but not really removable. He also has a backpack, which you can take off, and the crossbow, which is in keeping with the old classic toy line, and that's actually removable, so you can use it as an actual weapon. On the original toy line, it wasn't removable. It was just, if I remember correctly, it was just sculpted on the backpack, and the backpack itself is done with black, and you've got some sculpting detail, a little rocket on the side there, and some other stuff. So pretty nice looking. Now the backpack does have a tendency to pop out. At least with mine, it has. So that's the only thing. He also has a pistol done again with green. Again, that kind of futuristic looking pistol, and he's got the working holster. He's got brown pants as opposed to camo pants like the original figure. He also has a knife with that's removable down here on the shin. So overall, pretty solid figure. Beachhead's never been one of my favorite characters, but I think they've done a pretty good job kind of modernizing him and yet still kind of keeping that classic look. Okay, and then finally we have the second version of Roadblock, and in all honesty, I really don't know why we're already getting a second version of Roadblock in this line. You know, we're basically 2 waves in and already getting, you know, our second Roadblock. So I will say it's not a bad looking figure. I actually kind of like this look. However, I probably would have called this character heavy duty as opposed to Roadblock, you know, because it really doesn't look anything like Roadblock to me. He's got the full on beard, he's got the headpiece, he has the glasses that he's wearing, which are removable, but that's not really something you ever saw Roadblock wearing. He does have the same tattoo, which the original Roadblock didn't actually have, but you now get with this updated version. He's wearing the GI Joe black and gray tank top, which, you know, doesn't look bad. Still got that same stupid weapon that they gave us with the first Roadblock. So if they were going to give us a second Roadblock, it would have been nice maybe if they'd given us a better weapon. But you get that same one just repainted a little bit different. He's got the wrist guards, which are separate pieces, or on the right arm, I should say. He also has these smoke grenades on his right leg, which this is a separate piece made with the rubber material, not removable. He's got the knee pad on the left leg, and then the boots, you know, the kind of darkish beige pants. So again, I don't think it's a bad looking figure. I just don't really understand why we're getting 2 Roadblocks so soon in the line. You know, let's get out some other characters before we start repeating characters, especially second tier ones. I mean, I can kind of understand giving us multiple Snake Eyes, but I don't really understand why we're getting multiple Roadblocks already. And here's a comparison of all 4 Target exclusive figures. Roadblock is the tallest as he should be. Baroness is the shortest. And the Cobra Trooper and Beachhead are about the same height, though with the red beret, Beachhead's a little bit taller. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I like all these figures in this wave. I love the Cobra Trooper. I think the Baroness is a great figure. Beachhead, even though he's not my favorite character, I think they've done a really good job with. And even the Roadblock, even though I really, you know, again, don't think we need a second Roadblock so soon in the line. But even so, you know, I think this is actually a little bit better than the previous Roadblock they did. So for the figure itself, I think it's very solid. So overall, I would say, you know, I would give these figures for the most part an A plus. Probably my biggest thing I don't like about them, which is kind of with the entire line, is the weapons still need a little bit work. I would have preferred more of their classic weapons, but you know, with even the weapons in this wave aren't super bad or anything. So definitely the figures themselves I would give probably an A plus. But when you then factor in how hard it is to get these figures, how hard it is to get these Target exclusives, I actually have to bring that grade down to a C minus, because no matter how good the figures are, if you can't get your hands on them, if it's so difficult to, you know, find these, then why does it really matter? So I really hope Hasbro continues, you know, or not continues, but does improve the distribution, maybe quits making so many of these figures in the line store exclusives. I think that would go a long way of solving the problem, and maybe even some of these figures will get re-released down the road. So that's my review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you been able to find any of these figures at your local Target? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, stay safe out there, and until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.
Thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.